perhaps when it comes down to this, you can have those pocket strats ready to go. We talked about it earlier. You really just need to win this best of 3. This is the one that gets you to the World Finals, the Pro League Finals over in Brazil. And guys and girls, Corvidae is our last hope here for Australia and New Zealand. The same thing can be said for eINS. One region will be represented at Pro League Finals in Brazil. The other one goes home. Gentlemen, let's get into the action.
Alrighty, we will be seeing eINS go on defense for the first round, and with the setup at the laundry and supply room, so far it seems to be a very standard lineup of operators as well, with Shin going on Pulse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually really fascinated to see how much mute play we've seen this entire weekend. There's been so much mute coming out, and we do have Arena on from eINS playing mute this week. It's actually going to be reinforcing some of the wall between Attic and Big Tower. Typically, defenders will open up a rotate hole there in order to go for late flanks, because maintaining, not necessarily maintaining persistently, but having a way to rotate back into meeting hall and flank onto main lobby, whether it's through Attic or not, is incredibly useful to the defenders.
Now, we do also see already 2 members of Corvidae rushing into the small tower, so this could be already big. If Corvidae will be able to emphasize on their rush and get the picks early in through the game, this could be big for them, as we did see eINS get very quickly and very confidently picked off, and the moment their fraggers are being picked off, that makes the whole lineup just fall apart.
Some pre-fire from Shin through the walls towards Classroom. We do have, look at that, like you said, almost all of Corvidae are heading through. Jack Daddy is going to be thatchering open the wall between Kitchen and Meeting Hall. It is possible that they will be going for a Thermite or Hibana charge onto that one.
And yeah, clearing out that meeting hole will be a very crucial point for their attack. Ooh. And with Odin Missile going for those pre-fires, but not connecting any shots just yet. Shin will still be hanging around, and Rizraz will be making his way over to the attic. He could find some good shots. Shin will be getting the first kill on Fledge, but Rizraz will be trading out Shin straight away. The C4 just misses Rizraz as he manages to dodge this out. Arrowina picks up the kill on Wildman as well, making it a 4v3. Rizraz goes down as well. And just like that, it's a 4v2. Jack Daddy equals it up a bit with 3-2, but no! The potato from Warden, unfortunately, with 1Z taking up the kill, and it's all up to Jack Dad to clutch this up against 3 members of eINS.
And just look at that. With only 1 minute to go, we do have even the lobby hatch is still solid. We had Corvidae make their way down so dominantly and take over control of the west half of the building. But after that, as soon as they collapsed onto Meeting Hall, they just fell one by one. And Water not managing to secure that kill onto Bandit just means that Jack Daddy has even more work cut out for him.
Yes, and with 40 seconds on the clock, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of options for him as well. It's either the Watchtower stairs or the laundry stairs, and he will be going for the laundry stairs. The smoke grenades will be coming out. The aggressive pushes as well, with the pre-fires on Suzu. Both of them missing the shots just yet. The C4, that will be just slightly tagging up Jack Dad and will be forcing him to fall back. 20 seconds on the clock. He does need to start making the move now. And the rest of eINS are just holding their angles. That's all that they need to do to secure the first round into their hands. 10 seconds on the clock. Jack Dad is running out of time. He needs to either go for this KD save, and he will be unfortunately not able to get any picks, and that's the first round going to eINS.
And just like that, Jack Daddy saves the KD, and yeah, eINS win a very dominant round. It's these trades that come out. eINS are so good at winning these trade battles, and Corvidae, unfortunately, for them, not really making it through that last one, and they got so distracted. Once they took control of the west half of the building, they all their eyes on Meeting Hall. They sent Rizraz up to Attic, which was fantastic. Rizraz managed to trade the Pulse when the Pulse got a kill down. But the problem was then that they didn't actually put down all of their utility, open up the hatches before they kept peeking these angles. Rizraz dropped straight down of Attic and walked into a crossfire, and then he didn't get traded back. So it really fell apart for them in that one. eINS showing that they can, that their Meeting Hold works when people pressure it directly.
And exactly that. And if they would have managed to utilize the Ash charges on the either hatch or just the flooring of the attic, that would have been a completely different turnout. with Rizraz being able to secure at the very least 1 or 2 more kills.
I do find it really interesting in this round. We are seeing Jack Daddy bringing out Legion. Legion is one of the new operators, of course, bringing a lot to the table. I think Oregon in particular is one of the maps where Legion really can thrive, because as you sit down in the laundry, you just keep throwing them out, and it just denies them from pushing.
Now, we also do see the trademark push for eINS for the laundry and supply room offense, with Onesie already on his way towards the construction tunnel. So that will be a dual push to stress out Corvidae as much as possible and get them to separate from each other, so that refragging capability will be none, pretty much, at this point, if they will end up separating.
Something I'm really impressed from eINS that we see time and time again, we saw it especially on Oregon yesterday in their match, is that they do split up and they do attack from multiple angles, but the thing is, they still win the trade battles. Usually when you split up your players, it means that when one falls, they don't get refragged. But eINS managed to do it miraculously nonetheless. And Onesie and Shin are these key fraggers and these key pushers. Shin looking to try and get an angle down onto the laundry stairs. Stop anyone. What? Rizraz managed to shut down Onesie, who was pushing from the construction side. An early pick down for Rizraz.
And that is exactly what we've mentioned. Corvidae managed to counter that double push, so they will only have to now expect a single push on either the meeting hall or the main hallway. With now Ash gone, all up to Shin to be able to open up the needed angles, and this could be a good tune-up.
Yeah, Onesie really pulls the weight for his team, and with him going down so early, that's a problem. But Arena managed to get Warden, but then Wildman gets the trade. This trade battle goes down for Corvidae. It's now a 4v3, and the push is going to have to start going down. Ying looking to potentially use her utility down, pushing through onto Laundry.
And we will be also seeing Suzu droning up ahead for potentially Odin Missile to get the push happening. Shin, meanwhile, gets down by and destroyed by Fletch. 2v4 situation looking good so far for Corvidae's defense. Ooh. Jack Daddy gets tagged up pretty, well, to half health by Suzu. And the Candela charges will be now coming out from Odin Missile. All 3 of them were used, but the unfortunate potato of the throw. Odin Missile will get tagged up by that smoke grenade as well by Wildman, and Suzu will be going down as well by Rizraz, and that is round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Corvidae very confidently defend the laundry.
The crowd goes absolutely wild for Corvidae here. You can see the home turf really brings their supporters to the table. eINS really, they look quite strong in some aspects, but Onesie got picked off early and he had no influence on that round whatsoever. There was no refrag there. He didn't manage to pull that through for his team. We had the rest of the push, they just lost their trades, and then there were numbers down, and then one got picked off from Fletch playing that mirror inside of meeting, and then it was just the 2 last ones, and you know, that's all she wrote. There was nothing that they could do there.
Yes. And what's interesting is that if Corvidae will be able to sustain the capability of just halting those last moment pushes or being able to counter them, that will be their greatest advantage over eINS, as we did see on the last day, on the previous day, that eINS were really good at those last moment pushes, and that's what was catching Cryptic off guard with Cafe especially.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see the way that eINS are defending this. This does look fairly familiar to how they were setting it up yesterday during the day, but we do have Prototype reinforcing the walls from Dining into Small Tower. This makes it much more difficult for Corvidae to actually push through Small Tower and establish a beachhead beneath the B bomb site, which will be defended. This kitchen area beneath the bomb site will be defended by Odin's Mirror. Rizraz looking to try and pressure onto that Dining, but he is going to meet some resistance as there's quite a lot of utility stacked up against him.
And we will be also seeing quite some emphasis potentially happening on the main watchtower, with Jack Daddy rappelling up to the 2nd floor windows, looking to emphasize it, and he could actually get some good peeks on Bandit, who will be holding his angle at the attic. And if Wildman or Fletch won't notice it at the right moment, that could cost them their head. They just miss Onesie as well.
Rizraz is actually in a precarious position here. Even while droning, he can actually be spotted from the attic. Prototype 1Z manages to get down that thermite charge with the bandit trick. That's exactly what he needed to do. There's only one more thermite charge remaining. Jack Daddy will be using his EMPs to open that up, but nonetheless, 1Z will be able to just keep bandit tricking that unless if he gets pressured. Wildman brings out the firebolt, and that will mean that 1Z is... Whoa! Wildman falls! 1Z with a fantastic shot. That's Capitao going down, but the wall does get open, and 1Z falls back to site. One free kill and backs on out. Rizraz managed to finally trade him down, and that brings it back on the game for Corvidae. Jack Daddy managed to find Shin.
What the plays so far? The trade-offs. My heart can barely handle this. Dev.
Oh, I can feel it. Well, we do have now 4 versus 3. There is a mirror still at the top of white stairs facing now towards the small dorms. It did look like Corvidae originally were hoping to push down onto B window, but now they have options. They do have the numbers advantage, and this is what's really going to make the difference for them. However, they have lost their Capitao. They won't be able to as easily flush out a player from Kids Dorms. But look at this. Arena is going to be going for a run out. Jack Daddy falls. Warden falls. Arena going crazy. And that goes unpunished as no one can refrag.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate as Rizraz and Fletch were all the way. Rizraz manages to find the shot on Arena, but Fletch now will be trying to hold the angle at the north window, and Rizraz will be going back to those windows in attempt to get a peek. But they will need to watch out for any runouts, but it looks like Odemiso and Suzu will be sitting at the objective areas and just waiting for the right moment to push out. Rizraz could be big, but no, unfortunately will be taken down by Suzu, and it's all up to Fletch to clutch this up.
Fletch is not in the favorable position right now. He doesn't manage to take down Odemiso. He switches to the secondary. The bearing 9 comes out. Odemiso, but he's walking into a crossfire, and Suzu finishes him off neatly. Really unfortunate for their Rizraz just went in, and there was completely no coordination with Fletch there.
It did look like it wasn't exactly fully coordinated, nor any of the flashbangs or utilities were used for that rappelling in from Rizraz, which was quite unfortunate.
I'm assuming that they bought the Capitao with the intention of flushing out the player who's standing beneath the B windows, but the problem was when the Capitao got picked off and the utility got used elsewhere, there was nothing to do.
Yes. And we will be seeing now Corvidae going on the Kids Dorms and main hall defense with the same about lineup, but we will be seeing Fletch coming out with a Frost.
Fletcher's signature Frost pickup. I'm curious to see which windows we will be seeing that under. Perhaps the B windows, perhaps the big window, perhaps in some more interesting and unusual positions. And I'm really curious to see whether eINS are going to predict this. Yep, Fletch putting them underneath the B windows. That is going to deal some serious damage to anyone who vaults through. But over on the lineup of eINS, we are going to have a Glaz come out. No Ying this time, but the Glaz... not quite meta at the moment, but still very powerful. The smokes have been removed now only to 2, down from 3, so you have a lot less time to waste with the smokes, but they're much more reliable.
Yes. And let's have a look also on the scoreboard with Rizraz so far going pretty big with 5 kills, and Jack Daddy and Wildman following up. On the side of eINS, Arrowinner actually with Suzu following up with 4 to 3 and Prototype on 2 kills.
Warden and Odemiso yet to find one for themselves, but that's all right. Warden has been playing that supportive role mostly, so it's all right. Odemiso also, but Rizraz falls to Shin. That's an important pick. This is exactly the same place that Shin pushes every single attack round, and Rizraz just got caught off guard.
That was very unfortunate, as that peak hole was the bane of Rizraz with this kind of small time frame as well for him to react.
Really interesting that what we're seeing here is actually 3 eINS members all focusing on taking Kitchen, even with the Glaz. We've got Glaz, Hibana, and Buck pushing in from that side. Arena getting a crossfire to completely cut off any rotate from meeting into the main lobby.
Fletch could be potentially overwhelmed over here because he is the only one that is sitting around the kitchen area with no rotation holes into the meeting hall as well. And this could mean some problems for him. That is, if he does have at least a single frost trap near kitchen to be able to secure that quick down. This could mean something for that.
Meanwhile, Onesie has actually pushed all the way into Master Bedroom without very much contention. Suzu also repelling in to help. Odomiso is going to be rotating. I think this is the right choice. Odomiso likely heading on to the big window where he can deal quite a lot of damage. Onesie preparing for this rush, has taken out the barbed wire, and we know what he can pull off. We're just going to have to see when he does it.
And we will be seeing the rest of Corvidae lineup already hunkering down on the objective with Fletch downstairs, just ready. Warden actually dealing some damage and taking out Arrowinner, making it a 4v4, just equaling it up a bit with Suzu holding angle in the walk-in closet and already popped open the hole. Now Onesie securing the kill on Jack Daddy, and the plant will be happening.
The plant goes down now. We have Onesie absolutely pulling the weight. Warden does manage to find one, but that's fine. We do have Onesie holding the angle now. Plant's down 4v3. Corvidae are going to have to completely retake this site, and with a Glaz watching through the smokes, they're not going to have time. Fletch pushes in through. Onesie managed to find Warden. It's now 2 versus 4.
And it doesn't look good with Suzu getting the pick on Wildman. It's Fletch securing the first kill on Suzu, and Shin will be securing the final shot at Fletch, taking another round into hands of eINS.
eINS having a lot of fun over there. We can hear them at the desks enjoying. They're really enjoying this match. I think that as stressful and as important as this match is, and as much as it means to the players, these guys are all having fun. I mean, everyone in the ANZ scene knows Corvidae as that team that likes to have fun.
Yes, definitely.
And it's fantastic to see eINS doing the same.
Yes, and hopefully we will be seeing a much closer game, as we, at the moment, all that we can see in reference to is the Corvidae curse, which is Corvidae losing the 3 rounds before actually going for the comeback. So maybe this could be the time with eINS going on defense for the laundry and supply room.
I won't count Corvidae out yet. They are 2 rounds down, but they can bring this back. It is possible. We're just going to have to see how exactly this round goes down. Last time, Corvidae completely took over the West control, but they completely stalled out on attacking meeting. They just one by one fell to the eINS players, and then at the end, there was nothing that they could do to push down.
Now we'll be seeing once again a reinforcement of the meeting hall again, and this time I'm really curious how will Corvidae approach this push, and will they either take their time in pushing meeting hall, or will they be going for this straight aggression towards the plant?
I think that, honestly, I think Corvidae needs to learn a little bit from eINS here. We need to see Corvidae maybe taking Rizraz, pushing from big tower and actually opening up some holes in order to cut off any rotations back to site and then push down. We do have Shin this time on the roam, but he has been completely flashed, completely drawn, and he gets completely shut down by Rizraz. Some fantastic teamwork coming out from Corvidae. That roam hunt was completely dominant.
Exactly, and if they will be able to cut off the main roamers of eINS being Arrowinner, Onesie, and Shin, that could mean some problem for eINS. That's one of the roamers down, now 2 more to go. And we do see Rizraz securing the top floor, so that is some extra safe space for Corvidae to run around and set up their pushes.
It looks like once again Rizraz is keen to actually push into the attic towards meeting, but honestly I think that he shouldn't do this. I mean, opening up that attic wall just gives the eINS players an opportunity for a late flank up through there. And honestly, Corvidae just needs to put someone to watch the backside and then start making this plan happen. They need to open up the... They still haven't opened up the lobby drop down. 1 minute 40 still on the clock.
And we will be seeing Warden now deciding to go for the push through the construction tunnels, which is quite odd. Odin Missile picking up the kill on Jack Daddy, and that is Thatcher down. That is Thatcher down, and Arrowinner securing another kill on Fletch, making it a 4v3. Make it 2v4, actually, with Arrowinner picking up Wildman, Suzu taking out Warden, and just like it's all falling apart, the whole Corvidae lineup is falling apart. Rizraz X-God is the only one left now who will be contesting with Arrowinner first, who is secured his angle at the classroom. The game of pre-fires will be going out as well. And this could be big.
Oh,
Arrowinner. Yep.
Rizraz does fall. Rizraz did have to ace in order to clutch that one, and he doesn't manage to find Arrowinner going absolutely large on that one, picking up several kills in quick succession and then establishing himself inside classroom.
That was absolutely an amazing play by Arrowinner, and we will be going into round 6 with so far eINS having a 3-point lead.
Match point.
Match point as well for the first map. And I'm actually surprised so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is Corvidae's map pick. We do know eINS like this map, but we didn't know that eINS would be so dominant on it. Corvidae really need to pull their head in. If you're Corvidae going into that basement attack, how do you deal with the players in meeting? Because they tried contesting it head-on, and they all fell one by one, and then they tried ignoring it, and then Arena got a 3K.
That does feel that they do need to approach it the same way how eINS approached the Laundry offense, with push from two sides. If you know they're securing the spots in the meeting hall, push meeting hall from the watchtower and from the main hallway, and apply pressure from there. Have one person watching the flank from the Laundry stairs, and that could potentially secure them those so much needed frags to clear out the ground floor.
I don't understand why, when Rizraz is pushing up into Attic, he's just looking down through the ladder. He's not actually opening up the main hatch and looking down through that, because you can get a lot more visibility. He's likely worried about C4 while he's doing that. But interestingly, this time we're going to see CVD doing something very similar to what we just saw from eINS. Shin's actually bringing the Twitch this time, but throwing away his drone just to tag up a couple of points down onto Warden.
Although, even though this could have been just a waste, he will be going again. Oh, he just misses the mirror window, and thankfully for Flesh, he will be able to get that shot on a drone.
Look, I'm really curious to see how Corvidae are approaching this. eINS, despite being, they've been dominating, they are doing the same thing over and over. Every time we see Shin enter with that buck, he enters from the same direction. Every time we see Onesie enter with that Ash, he's going construction. And Corvidae have got to read into this, and if they've watched the VODs from yesterday, they'll know how eINS play.
They will know indeed, and if they will be able to counter this aggression and then counter the last 30 seconds aggression, this could mean big for them, but that is to be seen for this map. With so far we're seeing
Jack Daddy, no.
Shin nearly getting the headshot on Jack Daddy, but will miss several shots on his head. He will be going for the drone ahead to attempt to open up the mirror window. The body block by Fletch. The body blocks will be able to save that mirror window, and that's another shock drone gone. What a play.
All the shock drones are down now. Fortunately for Corvidae, they don't have to worry about those contending the mirrors, but we still have Odin Miso on the Ying with all of his utility remaining. 1 minute 35, Corvidae, it's really going to come down to when eINS spring into action in that last 30 seconds. Are Corvidae going to be able to utilize this roam inside meeting hall to actually take down? And there, Rizraz going large for his team, managed to find Shin. That is a impact frag from eINS. Fletch now still in meeting hall. He's going to be watching towards eINS, the side. They are going to be very soon heading down all the way into Laundry to set up the plant.
And with Corvidae knowing that this could potentially happen, they will need to have a backup plan to be able to return back to the objectives as fast as possible and with minimal amount of casualties. Onesie is still alive, and now in Boiler Room, he will be pushing up. He could get a drop on Warden. He will be seeing him and putting him down, and that is a 4v4, equaled it up. Onesie now got the attention of two members of Corvidae downstairs. Erwin picking up the kill on Fletch, but Onesie will be taken out by Rizraz this time finally, and Erwin will now be making his way over through the meeting hall, which could provide quite useful for them. Suzu catching Jackdad off guard, and will be putting going for the plan. Wildman, nicely done, securing the kill on Suzu. The plan could still be potentially going. Arrowwinner will be taken down by Rizraz as well in a 2v1 situation. Now Odemisu will need to clutch this up. Gets the first kill on Rizraz in 1v1 situation. 10 seconds. He does need to secure. Wildman needs to stop going for the aggression. Wildman will be running away, trying to hide. Odemisu tagged up and will be taken down by Wildman. What a play, and nearly costing Wildman the life as well.
Fantastic work from Wildman. I was really concerned there for a moment, but Wildman just absolutely knows those plays, and we trust Wildman, and that's why people call Wildman the best in ANZ.
That is true, Dev. That is very true, but that was a very risky play for Wildman as well. Even, but yeah, that just has me shocked a bit.
Well, yeah, really. I mean, eINS really utilized that last 30 seconds of pressure, and I thought that when it got to the 1v1 that eINS were going to win that one. I really thought so. And even just the 2v1, he got into the plant spot, but only with a sliver of HP, and Wildman knowing exactly where to put the smoke gas grenades because he didn't just put them in the default plant spot. He knew that they were going to drop hatch and plant directly beneath the hatch. He placed the smoke there, took down that one and completely rejected it. But also, we've got to give a massive shout out to Rizraz going absolutely large in that round with at least a 3K.
That was an amazing play out by both team members of Corvidae. Now we will be also taking another look on the scoreboard. Rizraz going really big with 9 kills, and for eINS we will be seeing Arrowinner with 8 kills, getting closer and closer to each other. This is very close. Now for eINS, they do need to secure just one more win to advance to the second map. As for Corvidae, they will need to go for that comeback, that much needed comeback for them to stay in advantage in this matchup.
Corvidae do have a long way to pull themselves back into this. They've got their work cut out for them, that's for sure. eINS are incredibly strong team, and they've been playing incredibly strong, especially Onesie here. Playing this bandit, has been successfully bandit tricking, even managed to get the shots onto Wildman last round. We're going to have to see whether they're going to address it the same way.
Now we will be also seeing some aggression coming in from below. Onesie, what are you doing? Getting another kill on Fletch, who tried to flush him out. But the opening will be happening as well. The attic will be... No, never mind, actually. Attic will not be opened with the successful bandit trick at just the right second. 4v5.
Yeah, a successful bandit trick. Unfortunately, Warden decided he put the thermite charge where it actually touched both of the panels. So even though Onesie appeared to have bandit tricked the wrong panel, it still managed to get the charge. So unfortunate for Warden there, but Onesie really pulling a lot for his team. Shin looking to get really aggressive out of small tower over here.
And this could be quite big, as Fletch now being one of the 2 reinforcement breaches now gone. It's all up to Warden and his single thermite charge. We do see one of the roamers from eINS posted up still in the small watchtower, and this could be big if they wouldn't pay enough attention to this. Shin could go for a very big play. He doesn't see yet Wildman, but he would spot the early push towards the double windows, and if Corvidae are not going to be paying any attention, this could be the bane of them.
Yeah, Shin has a huge amount of information for himself using those Valkyrie cameras. He knows exactly that the push has rotated over to big window, and he's in the perfect spot to counter that. However, Wildman is looking out. They're aware that there was a player over here. Whether or not Shin is going to time his pressure perfectly, we'll just have to see. Arena, meanwhile, we saw him go crazy from this spot earlier. He went out, ran out, and got a 2K, but no, he is shut down by Warden, and Shin managed to finally find Wildman using that information. Jack Daddy now cautious, but they're not going to be able to push that side unless if they flush Shin out.
But this could still be a big position for Shin, as that is a perfect setup for him to go for the run out as well. And there it is. There's the run out. Shin securing the kill on Jack Daddy, but Warden will be taking out Onesie. 2v3 situation. This does not look exactly good for Corvidae, but let's not write them off straight away.
13 seconds. They're just going to have to vault straight in. Even if they manage to get in, there is Valkyrie below with C4. Rizraz falls as he hits in from Odin Miso. Shin managed to get taken down by Warden. It's all up to Warden now, 1 versus 2, and he gets found by Odin Miso. Fantastic round for eINS, and that is the first map down for eINS Oregon.
I'm very surprised how that worked out. Corvidae seemed to be really on the just... it wasn't their play.
It was on the run the whole time, wasn't it?
They did seem to be on the run a whole time, but they weren't grouped up together, so they weren't able to get any refrags. The last round, Rizraz and Warden being just completely separate, they weren't able to get any peaks whatsoever together.
I think that they've been playing a lot more conservative. Rizraz, when he's on defense and there's not as much at stake, when that he can take his time, he's going incredibly crazy, getting several kills around. But on attack, even though he's getting the kills, he's vaulting into windows at the last second and completely exposing himself while his teammates aren't ready to capitalize on that pressure.
What is it about these other teams in the APAC region where it feels like they have the number of the ANZ teams, at least today? Yesterday, they were hard-fought games all the way through. Both Corvidae and Mindfreak had to fight through. They looked pretty convincing, but still struggled at times. But today, they've just been caught out time and time again. And we saw it here as well for Corvidae. It just doesn't feel like they've turned up to the tournament.
Honestly, what I think it is that ANZ teams have kind of been... There's a lot more going on for the ANZ teams in terms of the media. We have a lot more streamed, a lot more available, and because of that, people get set into their ways. And when you become set into your ways, you become way more predictable. You don't do these crazy things that eINS do. And that's when the ANZ teams get their number found and lose out these rounds and buckle under the pressure.
These sort of things like an APAC final is such a great growth opportunity. If we didn't have an APAC finals, right? If we waited till next year, you'd have teams from within the APAC region, Korea, Southeast Asia, Japan, and ANZ, all playing within their own smaller communities, building their own metas, but not experiencing wider metas and wider play styles. And you could go through another 12 months thinking, man, we're pretty good here in the ANZ region. You know, we're pretty top stuff. We should be able to take down the rest of these teams in the APAC region. But now that they've got the opportunity to play against them, what we've learned is that's not necessarily the case. For whatever reason, these guys are very, very good at hitting their shots. They're mechanically skilled, and right now, they're outplaying the ANZ teams as well, even in terms of strategy.
Indeed, and it does look that Corvidae are still attempting to go for just hard strat works. They're trying to open up from different spots. They're trying to push from different spots, but they do seem to be lacking that mechanical skill, the ability to either quickly refrag or just to secure those pixel peaks onto eINS, and that's pretty much what's failing them.
You can see Corvidae have been having a bit of trouble, particularly Warden. This entire weekend, he's just been not quite showing up to what he's feeling, and you can tell that Corvidae really taking that into heart. When they're losing these rounds, they take it personally, and it hurts them, and it means that they don't perform well in the next round and in the next map and in the next series.
Losing's tough, man.
It is.
No matter what you do. It sounds silly, but it's true. You've got the pressure of everyone else. You've got the pressure that you put on yourself. You've got the pressure from your teammates, your family, your friends, the community. And sometimes it can just be a little bit too much. It's in addition to that, you're not at home. You're not playing in your PJs on your home PC. You bought your gear out, but it's so different. It's such a different feeling. And that's why things like these finals are such a great opportunity to learn and to grow from. This isn't the end of the road for any of these teams here this weekend. They've all taken a lot away from it, irrespective of where they come. But right now for eINS, they have a very good opportunity to progress through to Pro League finals and to really learn and grow even more as a team and to represent their region. They're just one map away. And that was such a good... they played so well. 5-2? Was that the end score?
5-2, yeah.
That's a convincing victory in any sense.
Absolutely, and I'm concerned for Corvidae here. I think that eINS really have their number and they really have a chance to close it out. Oregon was Corvidae's map. Even the decided map, I would say, is Corvidae's map. Whether or not they can take it there, I'm not quite sure. We do have Consulate up next, and eINS seem to like Consulate. They've already been playing it, and they picked it. They didn't ban it, and Corvidae let it through, but I don't think Corvidae are confident on
What is Corvidae like on this map? How do they normally play it?
Well, Corvidae are renowned for their incredibly aggressive plays, their runouts. We saw them play Consulate yesterday, and they were doing ridiculous things like jumping out of the B windows to kill a Blackbeard, basically guaranteed sacrificing one of your players just for a kill. This is the Corvidae we know. This is the Corvidae that takes these huge risks. This Corvidae that runs out at every opportunity and takes on these aggressive fights. And they actually managed to pull it back yesterday when they were playing New Life. But whether they're going to be able to do the same on eINS, who seem to favor this map, we'll just have to see.
We certainly will, guys and girls. Corvidae, the last hope of the ANZ region, are just one map away from elimination. They need to win the next two maps to progress through to the Pro League finals in Brazil. eINS from Japan, these guys potentially 5 rounds away from a trip overseas and everything that comes with that. Well, it just comes down to this, gentlemen. Take it away.
All right, now we will be seeing the first pick for Corvidae's defense being the Consulate office. Now, Consul's office, and not that... Pretty much standard reinforcement so far for the break room with a also extra reinforcement patch at the vending machine. So that could be the emphasis for, at the very least, a double mat hold.
Yeah, the meta tends to be that there is a huge push coming from the admin side, and therefore there is a huge hold coming from admin side. A lot of the time, defenders start within admin or within the little office next to admin where they place a mirror, and then when that falls, they pull back to vending machines. Vending machines is actually a very strong position to play in.
It is.
But that said, eINS are incredibly aggressive, and being able to just take on those fights, peek that corner, use the flashbang, take down any players behind there, I think that eINS actually have the advantage here. Interestingly, we're not seeing a Hibana. We are seeing the Ying come out, though, once again, and Shin bringing that Twitch.
It does look very interesting, the fact that how Corvidae already, from the get-go, slowed down the offense with those two opened up windows at the balcony. That does seem as if they will be going for the early run, like spawn peak runouts, but it's all for either the Valcams or for the later on game.
Yeah, I definitely think Corvidae are, in order to actually win this, they have to play like Corvidae. They have to go for those aggressive peaks. They have to go for those runouts. And eINS are going to be... I mean, Consulate is a map where you always bring many, many claymores because there are so many places to run out. Just from the yellow stairs themselves, you can run out the door or the window, so you need 2 claymores for that. We only have 2 claymores from eINS as Twitch has brought breaching charges, so we're going to see how they deal with those. But eINS, I think, with the way that they play passive in the early rounds, they have a chance to take down Corvidae. And just like I said, Odin Misa managed to find the first kill of the round onto Warden.
What does surprise me as well is the fact that no Blackbeard came from the offense, as he would be a very powerful asset for the offense to hold the windows at the consul's office. And with now Warden gone, Elo's gone, and ooh, Wildman just at the wrong moment will be caught off guard by Arrowinner, making it a 3v5 just like that. This doesn't look good, but there's those runouts. There's Rizraz pulling out that run out in the garage and taking the trade on Arrowinner straight away. Suzu now with Odin Missile will be attempting to push towards the balcony, and Shin will be on his way towards the waiting room, actually. Wow. That is a very ballsy push onto A. And it is all up to Jackdad, who will be downing Odin Missile, but he will be traded out by Shin. Suzu taking a kill on Fledge, and it's all up to Rizraz once again to clutch this up for V1. And he will need to secure an ace to be able to get this round into Corvidae's hands. The first engagement with Shin, he will be getting him down, but in the process, Rizraz gets down to quite some amount of health. And attackers will be winning the round. Onesie securing the final shot at Rizraz.
That was a fantastic round from eINS, from Prototype, from Shin in particular. I'm really impressed with what eINS did, and it's what I'm seeing eINS tend to do every time. It's their play style. Cut off the rotation, sit on the windows. This is what you need to do on Concert. You need to sit on windows and cut off rotations. And they did that, and they got 2 picks from it, or they got 1 pick on Warden, who ran out. And then you control your pressure and you explode into the bomb site with multiple players, and you trade. And that's what we had, the breaching charges from Twitch. No one expects you to hot breach into the connector between the bomb sites. Nobody expects that. And even when Jack Daddy managed to get the kill, he got traded down. eINS, interestingly, this time are going to be taking us downstairs. They seem to favor this one over the upstairs defense.
It does look like a very interesting hold so far for eINS, as the first round was absolutely just ballsy. Arrowinner will be holding the angle at the bathroom. So this could either mean big if Corvidae will be able to flush out the defenders from the ground floor. This could mean big for them.
A huge point of contention on this objective is the piano room, because the entire floor
is breachable.
Piano room is breachable, and it's completely above the garage. All of the anchor positions behind pipes, behind the yellow pillar, behind white van, you can flush out players, but Shin managing to take down Fletch. That's the Hibana down. This is what I would expect to see from Corvidae, but no, Corvidae fall.
That spawn peak was absolutely ridiculous, but Arrowinner will be also downed as well after, I believe, a peak by Rizraz.
Manages to get Warden down to half HP though, so I would say that's probably worth it for eINS.
Yes, and now they're just waiting. Ooh, Warden will be securing the kill on Arrowinner, who just did not make it to drop down into the hatch. But Shin will be roaming around on the top floor, and he could catch Jackdad and Warden off guard. This could be big for eINS once again. But Jack Dad will be droning him out. He will be calling the roam out as well, meaning they will be now cautious of that hold.
What we need to see from Corvidae is they know that they're going to have to take down Piano, and they know they've got a lot of utility to get through there, all those castle barricades and those Ella mines. But first up, they have to take the top floor and then work downwards. Jack Daddy here is going to be cutting off this rotation back from Visa. Shin was just nearby. Whether or not he's going to be found, we'll just have to see. Shin is looking to make a nuisance of himself. He might fall right into Jack Daddy's crosshairs.
And it does look like his push got halted the moment he realized that Jack Dad was also reading his movement. Now with Elamine just ready just outside of the tellers. Wildman will be breaching open the garage as well. Shin returning back to his usual spot, and he could catch Jack Dad off the guard. But Jack Dad still reading that movement, more or less. Still waiting for that aggression from the hatch. Can he get the kill or not?
Oh, no.
That will be found in just a second. Jack Dad does actually fall back to the spiral stairs, and that is the main lobby fully cleared out by both teams.
Corvidae aren't dealing with these roamers in the right way. And there you have it, that Jack Daddy gets punished. Jack Daddy's job there was just to look upwards and prevent any kind of pressure from above, but you're never going to win those fights. And now Corvidae are falling apart one by one as Rizraz falls to Onesie. But Warden starts to do some work for his team by finding Onesie and trading him out. 2, though, attackers versus 3 defenders, and the defenders have above. As you can see, Shin is just going to shoot down onto Wildman as he heads on through. Odin Miso takes him down, and Warden is going to fall to Shin.
That was quite a very, very strange round, as Corvidae seemed to have so many opportunities to get the frags, but just had the really bad timing.
Yeah, eINS are showing themselves to be fantastic, but really, that was on Corvidae. Corvidae did not deal with Shin roaming. They did not. They needed to look at the entire defense, and they needed to see they're hard holding Piano. We need to take Piano, or else they're going to shoot us from above. Which means we need to deal with the roamers first and then work downwards. So they need to enter in the top floor, probably from admin, probably from B windows, come down, find Shin, kill Shin, take over lobby, take over the entire ground floor, flush everyone downstairs, and work upwards from there.
That's right. And now we will be seeing Corvidae pick the Consul's office once again for the defense. And let's see if they will be able to emphasize on the points that eINS put out during the first round, especially with the fact that Shin hard breached right into the connector room. That was absolutely ridiculous.
So yesterday we saw 4 matches, each one going to a 2-1 score and each one getting to the best of 3 map. And we saw both ANZ teams win their matches. Earlier today we saw Mindfreak fall to Mantis FPS in a 2-0. Are we going to see eINS do the same thing to Corvidae?
This could be, this does have a potential, with eINS already having a map advantage over Corvidae and now having a 2-point advantage over Corvidae during this map as well. Wildman will be spotted by the Twitch drone, and the commotion will be caused. Shin will be finally making his way over from the spawn point.
The Twitch pick is an interesting one. I mean, Twitch is kind of regarded as a little bit of a cross between a support and a fragger, because she's a good support because of her Twitch drones are good at taking down mirrors in particular, but also just smaller gadgets like Ella mines, basically anything, bandit batteries, Jaeger devices. But the thing is, it's not as effective at doing that as something like a Thatcher, for example. But the thing is, and you can see Shin is just throwing away his drones by tagging up players, being a little bit of a nuisance. Shin is just using Twitch as a fragger, and Shin proves that he can do that. He's absolutely nails. Twitch has gone to FAMAS, especially on LAN. From what I've heard, especially on LAN, the FAMAS is a beast.
What does surprise me is the fact that Warden actually picked Doc for this operator lineup. This does bring me back to the flashbacks of the qualifiers where Corvidae did bring a Rook to their players, and I believe it was one of the last matches within the ANZ region.
So Warden's been having a lot of trouble this weekend finding his frags. He's playing a lot of Ella, which is typically meant to be the main fragger in your team, but he's not been finding the kills, at least not on attack, and not on defense, sorry. So he is going to be bringing on a Doc, like you said, the 1-speed operator. This isn't a roamer, but what Doc does have is a fantastic weapon with an ACOG. So he's going for firepower over speed, and I think that this could work out for Corvidae because if they're going for speed, it's going to play right into eINS' hands. Meanwhile, Warden plays right into the hands of Shin once again on this connector window, managed to find down the dock just as we were talking about. Still too aggressive, isn't he?
Too aggressive, still too aggressive. Unfortunately for Warden, he wouldn't be able to secure that shot, even though the drop was there and he could have had the element of surprise on him. Meanwhile, still, Shin is tagged up pretty heavily. Erwin is securing the kill on Rizraz and the pre-fire on Fletch as well, but Shin securing another headshot on Jagdad. And Odin Mister going for the flank around on Fletch, flushing out the whole Corvidae lineup. Wildman is still left now, 1v4 once again, and taking out, I believe that was Shin, yes.
Plant's going down, Wildman has to 1v5, and he does, and that's a flawless round for eINS. Corvidae are playing right into eINS' hands, being read by a book.
That was, what was that pre-fire? Onesie. Most files,
Most
please.
files, please, guys. Oh, 4-4-4-4. Anyhow, moving on, we are going to be seeing now eINS heading on to their defense. They are bringing out Castle this time. Castle and Pulse. I think that's going to be interesting. We've got the Pulse and Valkyrie. eINS have been showing that they really can make the most of the information gathering. On Oregon in particular, they really liked that Valkyrie, and it was helping them get the kills, honestly.
Exactly, and we will be also seeing Warden come down with Blackbeard, so potentially this could be very interesting. But lobby and press room.
So this is something that we don't see very often. Both of these teams have been using Castle quite a bit here, but we do have eINS now bringing it to lobby for Castle. I think we're going to see something quite aggressive coming out from here. As you can see, they've opened up the back of the bathroom, creating a rotate hole into the west corridor, reinforcing all of that using castle barricades and everything. And that's because on the lobby defense, one of the weakest points that you can push in is through those windows in the west corridor. You open up that, you can open up with your Hibana charges the back of bathroom, and then you completely, you basically make it so that eINS can't have a place to sit in comfortably.
All right. Yes, that is absolutely true. And we will be seeing some roaming work as well happening. The scoreboard will show us that so far Shin will be the main person to do the fragging. And as for Corvidae, we're still seeing Jagdad and Fletch still to get the kill.
They've got a lot of work to do, don't they?
They do have indeed, with so far 3-0 with 3-point advantage from eINS. This does not look good for them, as Corvidae will need to put some effort into this map.
I'm so impressed by eINS. Honestly, this is a fantastic team here. Either one of these teams could take this. eINS looking much stronger at the moment, but whichever team does make it through, I think we've had some fantastic games. And honestly, whichever team wins here deserves to go to Brazil.
That's definitely in that, yes. We will be seeing so far just 2 roamers upstairs, and the rest will be hunkering down near the objective. Odemiso actually roaming downstairs near the lockers. And Rizraz going for the aggressive push with Wildman. Wildman already inside of the public bathroom, and he will be getting the drop on Erwin. But the shutdown from the hatch will be coming out from Suzu. Now it's all up to Rizraz, who's already still in bathrooms and could play a very crucial part. The plan already happening by Fletch, 4v4 situation with the Romas slowly rotating back. The C4 from Onesie on Fletch, and Shin will be securing the kill on Jagdad. 2v4 situation just like that. That pulse was not droned out. There was no call out, unfortunately. That was the bane of him. Rizraz, after the tag, he will be going out and attempting to go for the kill. Warden secures the kill on Onesie. Odin Mr. Traders out Warden, and Rizraz gets the kill on Suzu. 1v2 situation, still a clutchable win. As the plant is down, the defusing will be happening, and unfortunately, Odin Mister with the 1911 kill will be getting that win again. 4 rounds so far, 4-0.
That was an amazing round.
This was an amazing round. It did look actually very well for Corvidae if they would have been able to emphasize and still stay around and not let Pulse get that kill with a C4.
That round is the best that I've seen from Corvidae for quite a while. Definitely in this map, potentially in this entire series. Nonetheless, eINS just absolutely knew it was that information gathering, the C4, and then the collapse one by one. They knew exactly how to do it, and unfortunately for Rizraz, he didn't manage to clutch that out. But we've just seen so much fantastic work from eINS. Corvidae, I'm really impressed, though, with that. Rizraz and Wildman, the timing there, vaulting straight in, cutting off the rest of the rotates, and then planting in the side. That was very impressive, but eINS not having any of it. And this time we are going to see match point. Corvidae are saying, you took us to a lobby defense, well, we're going to take you to a lobby defense. Have fun with that.
As well as them picking the Rook, which is an even more unexpected pick. Before it was Warden on Doc, now it's going to be Wildman on Rook. And we did know Wildman, being as a very kind of wild card player sometimes, he can pull off something interesting, but I'm not exactly sure if Rook was the right pick for this one. Only one way to find out, though.
I think that what Corvidae are doing here is they're saying, look, we're desperate. We're going for every little spawn peak. We're doing everything we can. We're using the ACOGs. Look at how much Wildman here is trying to get this spawn peak. He needs it, and he knows he does, but eINS are not going to fall for that.
Yes, eINS will be able to actually stay put, but Arowina will get tagged up just that slightly till about 70 health, and will be slightly more cautious with that.
Corvidae are doing everything they can. They're trying their hardest to try and do something, because they're just saying, look, we need to do something to make this work, because it's not working. And I think that going with the way they have, choosing this Rook, going for more aggressive, I don't think it's going to work for them. They have to play passive. They have to not play into eINS' hands for the first 2 minutes of the round. They've wasted one now. They have to waste another, and then they just have to refrag, and take down eINS and win their gunfights, which eINS have so many strong fraggers. Arena, Onesie, Shin are all proving themselves to be top fraggers on their team. You can't really say any one in particular has been dominating. And even then, Odin, Miso, and Suzu showing that they are not to be counted out either.
We are seeing, though, Odin Miso already making his way over to the cabinet and potentially trying to get Fletch off guard, but Fletch will be pushing up towards the main doorway. Suzu and Miso already taking point at the consul's office. Fletch downstairs roaming around. He could catch either Shin or Onesie off guard. Wildman getting the kill on Shin and trading him out while Shin was getting the kill on Rizraz. Arowina trying to get the shot on Warden and finally secures that headshot. 4v3 doesn't look good. Wildman securing the kill on Prototype. Odin Miso walks right into that Legion trap with Suzu just holding the angle. And Fletch on the exit stairs just waiting, minute on the clock. And Jackdad still in the public bathroom, just will be going for that rotation.
You can see Wildman really, really wants to win this round. He's putting in everything he can. He's gotten 2 kills so far, and I think he's looking to find 3 more.
Indeed, and with a 3v3 situation, this does look somewhat equal, with Odemiso going for the Candela from up top. Will be dropping down and going for potentially the plant. But no, he will be just holding the angle downstairs. He will be left alone so far. Suzu will be dropping down. Erwin is securing the kill on Fletch. 3v2. Wildman going for the pre-fires, but just missing by a centimeter from Odemiso's head. And the plant will be down. Jackdad tries to go for the run out. What a fluke, Meister. And Suzu will be securing the trade on Jackdad, making it a 1v2 situation. But unfortunately, Corvidae will lose to a 5-0